Impala Platinum is the world's second largest producer of platinum, with operations on the Bushveld Complex in South Africa and the Great Dyke in Zimbabwe. It has a market cap of 86 billion rand, a price to earnings ratio of 19 and a dividend yield of 1.4%. The Standard Bank Platinum Exchange Traded Note is an alternative instrument which tracks the rand price of platinum. Now, we know platinum is the beleaguered sector. We have yet or just to look at the Impala Platinum share price as a proxy for the rest of the sector. Paul, let's throw it to you first.
So they're suffering from all of the aforementioned problems. You know, it's hot down there, electricity is expensive, safety related problems, labor related problems now. I mean, the rivalry there between National Union of Mine Workers and that new AMCU crowd. So it just doesn't look good. At the same time, there's a bit of a glut, a bit of an oversupply in the platinum market particularly. So that's creating a negative vibe. The only thing that these guys have going for them, at the end of the day, the South African industry are the price makers in platinum. So at some level, if the industry, being the motor industry principally, that wants platinum, then the price is going to have to rise.
Gary, is the price of platinum ever going to rise? Let's start there.
we talked about it last time, and now we are seeing it rising. It's, I mean, you're not seeing it in Impala's price
because the market doesn't trust the rising of the underlying metal yet.
But that's exactly where you're playing ETN against the company, because you're looking at this one and you're saying Impala, it's you've had all the trouble with Marikana, you've got the platinum price spiking, the things are going crazy for platinum, but the companies that you're investing in aren't doing anything, because obviously because of the supply, the fears of the supply crunch are coming from the companies not performing well. Now you look at rather the platinum ETN note, and you see that's done 14% in a matter of weeks. There perhaps where you can get your exposure instead of going for a company.
Okay, well let's put the ETN up here and have a look at that.
Yeah, let's just talk about what the ETN is though. It's an exchange traded note, so it's not anything that has units that are kind of rising or declining depending on an underlying asset like the gold one. Really what it is, it's Standard Bank that's just saying to you, we will sell you a note which gives you the same price as the rand equivalent of a certain quantity of platinum, and we will make a double in the market so that it kind of is easy to get in and out. They don't guarantee that that market will be narrow, so they're going to charge you as you jump from the one side to the other. They're also really putting their own balance sheet online. In other words, you are trusting them to give you that underlying value. There's a fee there. I think in their case it's about 0.5% per annum. And at the same time, there's sort of limited liquidity and it comes in fits and starts. So it sounds hell of attractive. Wow, let's avoid the companies. Let's just own the commodity. But there are some real reasons. It does trade about 500,000 rand a day, but these things still make me a little bit worried.
Gary, is this why you're smiling? This sharp jump up at this end of the share price graph?
No, but
ETN.
But the ETN, that's it. That's all coming from the platinum price. I mean, when you get news out of London about the Marikana incident and that, automatically that translates to all the platinum companies. You're not going to see Implats following that sort of spike, because people are worried, is the violence going to spread to Implats? Are they going to suffer with it? They're facing basically the same labor conditions that all the miners in South Africa are facing. But then how do you take advantage of a platinum spike? You're aware that it's there. How do you take advantage of it? There you go for the ETN.
The other thing with these things, unfortunately, is that they're all rand denominated. And I think that's an exchange control thing that they have to be. So the problem is you're not getting the dollar price of platinum, you're getting the rand equivalent. So as global risk appetite goes up or down, and risk on, risk off, all that stuff, we've seen the rand go in a range from like 790 to 850 even in the last 2 months. So that's the problem. Just as though you're kind of winning on the one foot, then you're losing on the other. So you feel as though you can never go forward. But anything more than a couple of weeks, in my opinion, you want to own the stock, because there you get actual company that can have actual turnaround, pay you actual dividends, as opposed to something that costs you money to be in. Okay, maybe not a couple of weeks, but more than a couple of months, I don't think you can own these things.
Are you positive on the underlying platinum story? Let's just go back to that
No, not
part.
particularly. I think they're going to be in the doldrums for a good 2 or 3 years, which in most people's time frame is equivalent to eternity, so avoid.
Are you obviously not in Paul's camp on this one, but I remember from our last discussion, I also remember that I got you into a corner as to when we were going to see this recovery.
No, it's, like I said, I mean, we were talking supply-demand dynamics of platinum, and looking at it, I mean, it's something I actually then obviously went and researched it a bit, and I mean, we came out showing that, last year, just take China, for example, last year. China, basically their car production was flat for the platinum market, and yet their use of PGM metals increased by 10%. This year, you're looking at the car market probably probably growth in production of around 8%, and again that the PGM use is going to increase as well, all coming from higher load in the autocatalytic converters. So you're actually looking at more platinum being used there, and it's a mixture between environmental controls, etc. But I think the story for platinum going forward is very good. And just one last thing to touch on what Paul was saying. I mean, a lot of investors are looking at it and saying, and you also get a lot with the gold. You invest in GLD, you see a huge spike in the dollar price of gold, and the result is you go nowhere. Now the JSE has just released a new product. It's called a Quanto Future, which so far they're listing them on copper, Brent, and gold. And for that, you actually can invest as a South African without touching your foreign exchange allowance. Invest in a South African product that gives you dollar exposure to the movement in the price. As in the price of gold goes up by 20%, the price of your instrument will go up by 20%. No currency risk at all.
Hot or not on Impala Platinum?
No, for the moment I'm avoiding the platinum sector in its entirety.
So not hot for the ETN as well?
Nix.
Gary, hot or not on Impala Platinum and the ETN? Can you group them?
Yeah, I wouldn't group them because I think it's a very different set.
So Impala Platinum, hot or not?
Not hot on Impala Platinum because of the labour that they face.
Platinum ETN?
Warmish. Yeah,
you can't go warmish. You got to go hot or not.
As Paul says, yeah, there are issues with it. I mean, Standard Bank does make a market a little bit choppy, but decent if you were going to get in ahead of the platinum.
Hot or not?
Not for me.
Hot.